So, this is Country Music News International, and my name's Nigel Sharpe, as ever, and I'm speaking to Mr. Drew Baldridge,
How's it going?
who is somewhere over in the USA, but I don't actually know where.
I'm in Nashville.
Right. I guess you would be, but I wasn't sort of 100% certain. I've just got on my other screen over here your hometown, because I was watching the video of Little Bit this afternoon, which I really enjoyed.
Thank you.
And one of the reasons I enjoyed it was looking at those, shots of that small town in Illinois. When did you leave there and come to Nashville?
So I moved there almost right out of high school, which I was about
Right.
19 years old. I've been in Nashville now for about 10 years. But that town is only about, 550 people, 600 people.
Yeah.
And Nashville is a lot bigger than that. So when I moved, it was mega culture shock. I
Yeah.
go from being, just a small town kid, farming on the weekends with my grandpa and mowing grass to living in Nashville where I could barely understand how to drive and get around and interstates and things like that. And it was a big culture shock. So this song that we just put out a little bit, we made sure we wanted to kind of show people our roots, kind of where I come from and how I grew up. And I think that's what this song does. And it all talks about, sometimes small town living is just a little bit better than the
Yeah.
big city kind of life sometimes that people can get lost in. It's kind of the simple things that sometimes makes life meant for living. And I think that's what this song does in its own way. And it was really, really cool. All the people in that video, there's a little girl holding a cat. That's actually my niece. And there's some boys hanging around drinking beer on the back of a tailgate. And one of them's my brother. And my cousin is the one in the farmer that's actually on my grandpa's ground. And there's just a lot of family and a lot of small town friends in that video, which makes it so special for me.
To have that connection with your roots is important.
It is, especially in country music. I think everybody, or at least most everybody that kind of sings country music, it's about life. It's about how you live. It's about your roots and where you come from. And I was very, very blessed to come from the area that I did, where it's kind of give the shirt off your back kind of mentality of life. And even that song talks about that. And I think being true to who you are and where you come from is very important, and people see authenticity, and I think that's what this song screams is authentic, and that's what I wanted people to know. And obviously this is the first song off a new project that we're going to be putting out in the fall, and we have a handful of other songs we're going to be releasing pretty soon, and hopefully have 6 to 10 songs that are going to be on this project that we can be really proud of, and that everybody can see who I am more, dive in a little bit more. We had a first album out a couple of years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago now, which is crazy to think about, but this is going to be an actual full body of work that I haven't done in 6 years. I've just been putting out singles. And so this is very, very exciting time. I put a lot of work into this, and I can't wait for everybody to hear the rest of this music that we've been working on.
Yeah, when I was looking at some of the releases from last year, there were quite a lot. You put out quite a lot of material in 2021,
Yeah, we
and
did. We put out I think 6 songs in 2021, and
yeah,
we were very, very blessed to see international success with "She's Somebody's Daughter," which was just this big moment all around the world, that blew up on social media and jumped a bunch of charts
yeah,
all around the world. And it was just really special to see people react to this song. And I think after doing that, my goal is just to continue to put out that authentic lyric and stories about me and where I come from, because "She's Somebody's Daughter" is 100%. I wrote that after meeting my wife's dad for the first time. And now moving forward, that's what this music, I'm going to try to make that music that hits people right in the heart.
Well, I think that's one of the things about country music. When you listen to the lyrics, it's so often a case that they tell you a story. They reflect someone's life, what people have really gone through in their lives, and people can relate to these songs, and that's a critical thing. So when I listened to that, actually, it is just what you said. It's what you immediately think. this is something that a lot of people are going to be playing at weddings and all sorts of functions and events. And I noticed that there are actually two versions of it. I mean, there was a 2019 and there's a 2021 version. So what brought that about?
So the 2019 version, I always felt like we put it out. It didn't really do what I wanted it to do. I didn't really love the way that we recorded it. I always thought it was too quick sounding. And So I was getting married in 2021 on May 7th. So we just passed a year of our anniversary. And I was thinking to myself, that was always my wife's favorite song. So I decided I would go into the studio and make a wedding version that she could dance to for her dad. And so I went in the studio and I made this special version for her. And I knew after I finished it that it was really powerful. And it's kind of how I heard the song being recorded in the first place. And so I made this special version. I decided to have the guy, my video guy, come in and film me recording it. And I thought, well, it'd be really cool to get some of our wedding footage and get some of her footage as a young girl, and kind of put it all together for her. And I made all this stuff up in the matter of a couple weeks, and it came to our wedding, and it was just a really special moment, her dancing to that song at our wedding. And I cried. I mean, as a songwriter, especially, you always dream of writing songs and making people move emotionally. You never thought you would actually write the song that your wife is dancing to with her dad. And I just thought it was a really special moment. So on our honeymoon, I decided I would jump on social media and just say, hey, I wrote this song for my wife and our wedding. If anybody out there relates to it too, I'll put it out. And I fell asleep. Me and my wife were doing things, didn't think much of it. Woke up the next morning, it had about 10 million or 11 million views. And it was all
Yeah.
around the world. And we put the song out that Friday, and it just flew up the charts. It ended up being
Yeah.
Spotify top 25 viral, number 7 in Sweden, number 8 in Norway, all these crazy things. We were trending in South Africa, and I just couldn't believe it. It's just the power of a song. What a song can do is pretty amazing. And it all went back to just making that moment for my wife, of just recording it for her and hoping that she could dance to it with her dad. And she did. And now it's been in, I feel like, thousands and thousands of weddings all around the world. I've getting tagged in videos all over the world of people using this song in their wedding and showing their dads, for the first time, them standing in their wedding dresses, or just videos with their daughters. And it's just been really, really special to see how much of an impact this song has made. And now we're talking 40, 50 million streams later,
Okay.
in a year's time, and it just keeps on reaching millions of people.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You're quite right. It's an emotionally powerful song.
Well, thank you, Nigel.
The other, you were talking about sort of going global and everything. Another thing I think I noticed from your website, there was a picture of you in Australia. I think that was like 2019. What was it that took you to Oz?
So I've played there a couple of times. The first time, they have this big music festival called the CMC Rocks, and
Okay, yeah,
it's a big country music festival. Here in the States, we have what you call CMT, which is Country Music
yeah,
Television. And Australia, they have Country Music Channel, which is CMC, and they have their awards and everything. So I had a song out at that time called Rebound, in 2017, and they were playing it pretty good over in Australia. And so we went over there and played this festival, and it was incredible. Like, it was my first time ever, and thousands of people at this festival, and we were playing songs, and everybody was singing every word, and we were like, what are we doing? We're on the other side of the world, and people know these songs. This is crazy. And so then in 2019, they asked us to come back and play a New Year's show. And so we went back and played again a New Year's show. And still to this day, like, I can get on and see where my streams are. And Australia is still, Brisbane and Melbourne and Melbourne and all those places, Sydney, are still some of my top streaming cities. In all of my music is a lot of Australia. So it's pretty interesting to me how big of a fan base we have there,
yeah.
kind of by accident. Like, we were just trying to do it over here in the States, and over there in Australia, it's just kind of blown up in a really special way.
Yeah, I've done a few interviews with Australian country artists. It's not quite the same as country music that you get from the States, but it is quite a big scene over there.
Yeah, it's definitely grown in the
And
last couple of years. I think they're they have a guy over there named Lee Kernaghan who really kind of started country music for Australia, and he's kind of the top dog, and he really kick-started kind of the country music scene for Australia, and it's just it's very similar to Nashville. It is a little different, but it's funny to me. If you sing Australian country music, you would use words like utes or like instead of trucks, and or you would
right,
use in the bush instead of out in the sticks, and there's just different sayings that they use in Australia that we don't use in America. So I always thought when I went to their award show and I heard them singing those songs, like, wow, this is just really, it's different culture, but that's what country music is. It talks about your country and where you're from, and that's what they do really, really well over there in Australia.
yeah,
Touring is, like I said, over COVID, I was playing all these backyards. I did almost 200 of them, and I just booked them all through my social media. And I would just tell people, hey, I miss playing shows. Who wants a show in your backyard? And there was a time where I did 20 shows in 19 days, which was crazy. I was just traveling. I drive 5 or 6 hours, play a show. Drive 5 or 6 hours, play a show. And it was pretty special. I got to meet people on a human level and
yeah,
eat dinner with them, and a lot of stuff that they've never seen an artist do this. They've never had an experience to have one of their favorite artists, or maybe not even their favorite artist, just any artist of any kind, set up in their backyard and take requests and play their own music, songs that they know and songs that they may never heard of, songs that I'm writing at the moment. And it was really, really cool. And who knows, maybe I'll do that again someday, where I just say, hey, we're going to do 20 of these. Who wants them?
anyway, I'm going to say thanks very much for joining us. We do appreciate that you take the time to do these interviews with us. So have a great summer, and I'll be very interested to see if you do some more of these backyard shows. I really
Who
like
knows?
that
Maybe
idea.
maybe we'll come
It's
over there to
good.
Europe and do a backyard trek all the way around and just play
Well,
people's yard.
I've got a nice garden, but you
There we
wouldn't get
go.
150 people in it. We might be able to squeeze 50, I guess.
I
But yeah.
love it. That'd be fine. We've done small and big, so I appreciate it.
Okay, you take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nigel. Bye bye.